YouTube, TikTok, Instagram was good, y'all. Welcome back to the club. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Hold on, wait a second. Welcome to Tech by E, where we talk about IT. You feel me? The IT roadmap. Your guide to tech mastery, guys. All right, I know it's been a minute, but we back at it once more. All right, guys, at the time of this recording, I don't know if y'all can see that, but we're at 125 subscribers, guys. Each one of you guys has contributed to the club and has contributed to the crew. All right, and you know, it's crazy to even think that I went past 100 subscribers already, guys. All right, but anyways, no jibber jabber. Today's video, guys, you guys really want to know ticketing systems, why ticketing systems are important. Now, if you guys saw my reel that I made a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about how in every job that I've had up to now, okay, as a customer service representative, working at the government, working at all these different, various IT departments and IT infrastructures, every single job I had a ticketing system in which I had to use. Okay, now there's a lot of ticketing systems out there, guys. There's Zendesk is one. If you guys are familiar with Zendesk, I actually use Zendesk in my actual job right now. Okay, so yeah, we use Zendesk when it comes to ticketing systems. There's so many ticketing systems. There's Intercom, which is another one as well. All right, where you can deal with tickets through Intercom, chats, and stuff like that as well. There's not Zendesk, but ServiceNow, which I've used also. I've actually used all of these ticketing systems, right? ServiceNow is another big one as well. Okay, now all these jobs be using these ticketing systems, and so it's important for y'all to understand and have a knowledge on how to use ticketing system, because you're gonna be using it all the time, guys. Y'all gonna be using these ticketing systems. It don't matter if you're a sysadmin, it don't matter if you're a cybersecurity, IAM. No matter what department you are, you're gonna be using ticketing system, unless if you work as a consultant and you're just working on a specific task, and you might not see a ticketing system. Like I work for I actually, funny enough, guys, I actually got a job as a consultant. All right, you guys can check all that on my LinkedIn, the link down below. But I actually work for a consulting firm out in Montreal, remotely, dealing with the integration of Google Workspace for one of a high-profile client. I can't get into it too much, but yeah. But we don't use ticketing systems because I'm just working on one task and then I'm out, right? But anyways, today's video, we talking about, and we're gonna be utilizing Intercom, okay, for the sake of this video. Okay, excuse me. So I already made a space on Intercom and kind of I just wanted to show you guys how to utilize, Intercom to send out tickets and stuff like that, right? So basically, it's very simple. In a ticket environment, you got a bunch of tickets and you have different queues, okay? So you can go and see like different tickets. Well, right now there's no unassigned tickets, but there could be unassigned tickets. As you guys can see, I have a ticket that's actually assigned to myself, right? So you can have a ticketing queue for the IT help desk, IT service desk, IT analyst, whatever you want to call it, right? You can have a queue where all the tickets are in that queue. So you gotta pick up tickets and deal with them. And then if you go on your inbox, these tickets that you pick up from the unassigned queue are going to go to your queue. So I just want to create a ticket real quick. And I'm not going to assign it to myself, but I'm going to assign it to the unassigned queue just to show you what I'm talking about. Now you can add a customer's name. In this scenario, I'm just gonna put myself on here. Okay, so Eric Conde, if I can spell, right? Okay, and let's hypothetically say, this tickets is regarding MS Teams. Nah, I already did that. Let's do Zoom audio not working, right? Okay, not able to, hear on Zoom or something like that, right? So then it's gonna be under ticket. We're gonna create the ticket. Okay, now I created a ticket. Now if you go on the unassigned queue, you can currently see that the Zoom ticket is actually in the unassigned queue. Now guys, if you work in IT, you work in the IT help desk, analyst, sysadmin, cybersecurity, whatever the case may be, every department has a unassigned queue. Now, even where I work right now as a NOC analyst, okay, as a network operation analyst or network analyst, whatever you want to call it, there's always queues that we got to deal with, okay? Now, me personally, where we work, there's a NOC queue. All the tickets go in there. All the tickets from different stakeholders and different departments all go through this ticket thing, this thing right here, okay? So it's very important to have your unassigned, to like look at the queue and also look at what you're working on, okay? So let's say I wanted to pick up this ticket. Well, it's easy. I would just go on, click on the ticket, right? Look at it. I'm like, okay, not able to hear on Zoom, blah, 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 right? And then I would essentially just assign myself, this ticket. So assignee, I would just take it and assign it myself, right? And then boom, assigned to you. And then it's gonna be assigned to you. And then if you go into your inbox, you see that now you have that ticket that's inside of your inbox. And then, as you guys can see in the unassigned queue, there's absolutely nothing, right? So that's how you you assign the ticket to yourself. All right. If you don't want to assign the ticket to yourself, you can just put it back on into the unassigned queue for whatever reason. But obviously, don't do that because you're here to do work, so you can't just take a ticket and put it back. Don't be that type of person. Okay. So if you're gonna take a ticket, assume that ticket, right, and work on that ticket. Okay. So this is how that works. Now let's hypothetically say you're on a call. Hey, John Doe calls in, right? And you need to create a ticket. Well, in here you would put in John Doe, right? John Doe at so and so, email, right? So and so contact information. Okay. But for this case, I'm just gonna put myself once more. Okay. Let's say we're on a call with John Doe. John Doe's like, hey, I'm having issues with my Chrome browser. My SharePoint is not loading or something like that, right? So I would call this title SharePoint not loading or something like that, right? SharePoint not loading, right? And then he's like, yeah, my SharePoint is not working, whatever the case may be. I'll just add a quick description, right? SharePoint not loading on Chrome or something like that, right? And I'll just create a ticket. Boom, create the ticket. Then in the notes, I'll start saying, I would start documenting the different troubleshooting steps that I've done on the call. So he might be like, yo, I'm on Chrome, etc. On Chrome, it ain't working, blah, 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 yada, yada. So I'll be like, okay, let's hypothetically say I cleared the cache, right? Cleared cache, cookies, restarted Outlook, Chrome, right? And let's hypothetically say I also flushed the DNS on CMD or something like that. I also tried Firefox, right? And the issue was resolved on Chrome. and Firefox. Let's say, okay, let's just say the issue was resolved that way, okay? So then I can just add a note to the ticket, right? Now, when it comes to SLAs, service level agreements, it's very important that you respond to your tickets ASAP, okay? Different tickets have different SLAs. This is not so much of a critical SLA than if someone was like, my Wi-Fi is down or something like that, okay? So, depending on the SLA, you gotta assign your tickets and respond accordingly, right? But for all tickets, you have to respond to your tickets all the time. So you gotta send this guy an email. Let's say you did all this on the phone. You're like, hey, boom, 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 clear the cache, cookies, restart Chrome, flush the DNS. I did all that stuff, right? Let's say it's done, okay? What I would recommend you, once you're done all this, I'd be like, hey, John Doe, for reference, your ticket number is 531-8994. You're also going to receive an email regarding the issue being resolved. You should actually receive an email of this being open, okay? So, if you go to here, you can see that this ticket has actually been created right over here, right? Zoom audio not working, not able to hear on Zoom. Boom, okay? So they got the ticket. Great. Now you got to respond to the ticket. So be like, hello, Eric. As per, right? So basically what I usually do is I actually use ChatGPT to help me with this, okay? I even use it at work. They don't got a problem with it. They actually encourage us to use AI. So I would just go on here and be like, hey, generate me a email to Eric regarding this issue being resolved, right? Or something like that. Boom. So then I just put in my notes and stuff like that. Boom. And as you guys can see, it will generate me an email. So I read through it. Following up on the stickers you reported, I cleared the cache, restarted Chrome, and flushed the DNS via command prompt. Also tested access using Firefox, okay? And it's been resolved, right? So you got to send this email to the customer, right? And just paste it in here. Boom. Hi, Eric, right? Following up the issue and blah, blah. I cleared your blah, blah, blah. Etc., etc. Looks good. Boom. Cool. And then you send off that email, okay? Boom. Now he's going to receive an email stating that the issue has been resolved. Okay? Now, after doing all that, you can actually close the ticket because you did send him an email. You sent him a message saying that the issue is resolved. So you have the right to close the ticket and click on resolve. Okay? And now, if we go onto my email right here, it's gonna take some time. It might take like a little bit of time for it to load. But anyways, he's gonna receive that email very shortly. So now, let's hypothetically say, you know, okay, one second. So let's hypothetically say that he calls in. He's like, yo, Eric, I got a ticket, okay, and my email on this is the client's, and he's like, yo, I got a ticket and it's for Zoom. I want to know what happened to that. I didn't get any updates, whatever. And he's like, my ticket number is 531-8799. Okay, that's his number, right? So you go, let's say on your end, you're like, okay, sir, ma'am, whatever the case, let me search for that. So you're just gonna go onto here, and you're gonna search for that ticket. You're gonna click on all conversations because you want everybody, you want the whole queue, you want to know everything what's going on. So you're just gonna paste in that number or write in that number, and then you're gonna look for that ticket, and then you're gonna see exactly what ticket he's referring to if he's calling in, and then you'd be like, oh, sir, actually, we do see this ticket. However, it hasn't been picked up within the queue, or maybe it's assigned to somebody. Be like, it's assigned to my colleague. He's actually working on the situation as of now. Would you want to speak with it? And then you can just transfer the call over to your teammate and be like, hey, listen, John Smith called in, and he's actually inquiring regarding your ticket. Did you work on it? Blah, blah, blah. Can I transfer him over? Boom, boom, boom. If he's like, nah, I'm actually busy right now, I can't transfer him over, I'd be like, this is what I would do, and this is what I always do. I'd be like, all right, what should I tell him? All right? What note should I leave on the ticket? They might say, oh, leave a note on the ticket of what he's talking about. So I can leave a note on the ticket, be like, yeah, okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I see. Boom, 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 boom. And I'd be like, yeah, I can actually assign this to my team and let him work on it. Or I just straight up work on it, straight up, if I know how to resolve the issue. You know? So that's one way of looking for tickets. That's a very useful way. If you're also looking for like troubleshooting steps on a previous ticket or whatever, and you get a call regarding that similar ticket, you can always write on the search, be like Outlook, and then boom, it picks up everything that has to do with Outlook, and then you can see what your other teammates did on Outlook. Like, oh, okay, I see this guy ran Outlook in safe mode, etc., etc. Oh, you can see like his different troubleshooting steps and stuff like that. All right. So that's one hack when it comes to that. Always use your search feature in any ticketing system. Any. You feel me? Because that's what's going to help you to being able to see what other people has done in the past. Everything is recorded. Everything is recording, guys. So use that to your advantage. Anyways, that's the video. Alright, like, comment, subscribe, join the club, join the crew. Alright, we growing up in here. I have to drop off because my break is almost over, and I gotta go and tackle these tickets out here. Alright, so yeah, we out. Peace.